Let's talk about Bitcoin's worst case scenario. And to be honest, it's actually still lucrative. It's not that bad, but I do want to have this healthy conversation. And I don't want it to be just like, bullish moon all day. I want to prepare people. Okay. Now, it's the same way I prepare myself. So, again, I made this channel to figure out what I'm going to do with my portfolio and my family and friends and loved ones. And then I want to share that knowledge with you. And it could be biased because I just love crypto, but I try to keep a level head. I try to keep it as unbiased as possible and educate as many people as I possibly can, back it up with evidence. And then I let people kind of tear me apart in the fundamental secrets. If you guys want to get access to my Discord, coaching, coin calls, and everything, there's a $5 5-day trial in the pinned comment below. They rip me apart. Okay. I come in with some bullish news or a bullish case, and typically it's met with objections, and these things are good. These things are healthy. If you have people around you that are just hyping you up and just agree with everything you say, you're never going to grow. You got to put yourself in a room where people are in some cases better than you so that you can grow to get to their level, right? Don't be a big fish in a small pond, okay? You have to level up one day. You have to be around people that can push you to the limit. It's just as simple as that, okay? If all of your friends make less money than you and know less than you about investing and trading, why are you trading with them? It doesn't make sense. You have to level up your skill set. This is the only way you could possibly do it. So, I got the bullish case. You guys have been watching my videos. They tore it apart, okay? They tore it apart. They showed me a new perspective, and I'm okay with that. And I want to show you guys in this video the worst case scenario for crypto and Bitcoin, and then you can prepare yourself. And to be honest with you, the worst case scenario is not that bad. You guys already experienced the worst part of it, to be honest. Like, we've already gone down the worst way it possibly can for Bitcoin and crypto for sure. And at this point, like, it's not that much downside. So don't be scared. It's not a bearish video. This is just highlighting both scenarios so that you have the bullish case, you have the bearish case, and you're, prepared for both. All right. So it's not going to be that big of a deal. Now, if we look at the S&P 500, I mean, guys, like, I've been saying it over and over again. So you should be prepared already. But if you haven't watched any of my recent videos, I highly suggest you guys subscribe. Look, macro environment is serious. It's going to play out the way it is. Hawkish Fed policy, rate hikes, all of these things will decrease spending. Now, I was resistant towards it because I'm just like, okay, if they decrease spending, where do we go? Like, there's nothing to invest in. Well, that thing to invest in is the dollar. What you should probably do is take profits. Now, again, like, I make these bullish videos and I'm laying out the case for crypto because I know a lot of people are not in the market as much as I am. But guys, like, for my portfolio, I'm like 10 to 15% in crypto, and the majority of it's cash. I'm holding a lot of cash on the sideline. So remember, like, it's crazy because, like, we have all of these conversations, especially in the fundamental secrets, as well as, like, even on YouTube, like, we're having these conversations, and I guess the real manifestation of what I'm really thinking is just the actions that I take, right? Because sometimes I'll get hype and I'll be like, dang, man, like, I knew a country's adopting this and this is happening. And I always tell people these things, like somebody would ask me, hey, Alex, do you think it's a good time to buy this coin? It's like a super specific question, right? And what I answer for people is like, look, if you want to know what I really think, just follow my actions, right? They just watch my trades. That's like the purest manifestation of what I really think. So right now, clearly, if I'm 85% in cash, you guys know what I think. It's as simple as that, right? And then when I start entering the market with buy calls, then you'll know what I think, right? It's as simple as that. Like, we could talk all day. There's feelings that arise all the time, but when I actually make a buy or a purchase, and this should go the same for you, right? Because talking is different from action, right? So when I start researching in depth, right, and I find that coin and I invest, that's when I do, like, extreme due diligence, and that's when, like, that's my action. Like, I don't just buy coins because it looks good. I buy coins for a lot of different reasons, right? So if we come over to the S&P 500, look, guys, traditional finance is coming to a halt for sure. It's on a free fall right now. This actually looks pretty bad, and we might come back down here. So the S&P 500 typically doesn't die this quick, okay? Now, another thing I saw, and I don't have the article for it, but the Federal Reserve, I think, made it like, they made like a policy where they can't even hold assets because it's like a conflict of interest. I forgot the article, but it's so funny because it happened to be at the exact top. At the exact top, they were like, oh, all Federal Reserve employees have to liquidate assets. As you can see, Fed officials sold all of their stocks here to avoid any conflict of interest. This was literally something that happened. Like, and I think it's just so funny. Like at the exact top, it was almost like a sell signal for everybody. So traditional finance coming to a halt, right? Federal Reserve exit scammed everybody and rug pulled. And we see, the NASDAQ composite mirroring everything. Guys, look, hawkish Fed policy, it's going to be destructive for, all risk on assets, traditional finance in general. Now, what I do see is that we're getting that rejection off the dollar. So the DXY, okay, the US dollar currency index is a representation of the dollar's power and how its strength is moving. So exactly what we've been talking about at the top here, right? So if we go to weekly, at the top here, Will in my group thinks that it's going to continue, and I have a reason to believe it probably will. But we have this resistance that we see right here. It's a question if we keep moving higher. If we keep moving higher, if this keeps going up, it's actually going to be pretty bad for all assets around the world. But like, let me just show you something, right? Because I thought it was interesting. In 2008, we had the housing market crash, and ever since then, we've been on an uprise for the dollar power, right? So if you look at it like right here, there's a good chance that you would think that the dollar can come down. But if you're looking at it from like a long-term perspective, I mean, we've been on an up run for the dollar for the past 5,000 days. So can we make our way up to here? It's very likely, and will likely be the worst case scenario for every asset, not just Bitcoin. If the dollar moves up here, that means people are moving or taking profits, or people on the other side of the country are not trying to get left behind. They're moving into the dollar, guys. I just want to be very clear with everybody so they understand. And the more they move into the dollar, okay, the more people take their investments out of everything, basically. That's the gist. They're going to take their investments out, including crypto. So this is a thing, okay? And I want everybody to understand, all right, what's really going on. So I want to look at some bonds here because, this is historically what people should be jumping into, but they're kind of not. So it's really the dollar. Like everything is going to get screwed at this point. So, typically when you have hawkish Fed policy, people start buying bonds so that they can get the guaranteed return. Bonds basically are backed by the government. It's like an IOU from the government, and they're supposed to be very safe. And typically people run into it. So we're not seeing that now. So you could see that there's not a lot of faith in the government. Now this could change. We're talking like super short-term timeframes, just to be clear with everybody. Like I will update you guys in the future. But as we see this rise, that's showing that the yield is increasing. If the yield is increasing, that means there's no one buying bonds still. Like I really expected that this was going to come down a lot. But it's not. So this is negative for United States government. You can clearly see people are not as confident for sure in the United States government, but they are still fleeting to cash because it's almost like they have to. That's the gist. They kind of have to fleet to cash, especially on other sides of the world because they're struggling. People are just struggling, and their savings, they don't want to lose their savings, right? So they're not going to jump into risk on assets in times like this because they're just scared. Everybody's scared, right? There's hyperinflation in other parts of the world. There's supply chain issues. It's like a really bad time for the economy of the world. Basically, people are super scared. They're gonna jump into the cash. Like I agree with everything Will, Aaron, Matt, people in my group are saying, and it's just like true, right? It's just like true. Now I've always made a case that this is true, but also Bitcoin has the best chance to bounce back, and I do agree that this is true. But if we look at all risk on assets and compare them, right? So what we're looking at here is the NASDAQ composite compared to BLX, which is Bitcoin, okay? You could see that Bitcoin still looks better than the NASDAQ composite. Like, this looks really bullish, right? If you compare it to the NASDAQ, right? You guys can see that right there. It's actually really simple to do this too. I know a lot of people are asking in the comment section, when you're on TradingView, and you should be using TradingView, guys, do your due diligence. Stop just looking at YouTubers, to make your investment decisions. You have to do these things yourself. But you could just divide anything. So when this chart goes up, that's Bitcoin doing better than the NASDAQ composite. And then when this chart goes down, NASDAQ is doing better than Bitcoin, right? So you can clearly see if we compare risk on assets, Bitcoin still looks like the answer. So that little 15% that I have on my portfolio, I'm not getting rid of crypto. I'm not selling. Even though this is like a worst case scenario, it's a little bit scary. I'm not selling. I'm not going to sell because there's no reason to. I paid like 250K in taxes. I think a little bit more than that this year. Like I'm not, no, it's not cool. And I'll show you why. I'll show you because the worst case scenario is not that bad, to be honest. Now, I've said this over and over again. I actually specifically called, and I think about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I specifically said you can go watch my old videos that USDT dominance will likely come up to here, and then I'm looking for a rejection. So it will likely move up, and when USDT, okay, if you guys don't know what USDT is, it's Tether. Okay, it's the most liquid stable coin on the entire market. It is shown as a safe haven in crypto. So as the market dumps, you'll see other stable coins actually lose value. They're not really stable. They not a lot of value. It'll lose like it'll go from like $1 to like 97 cents. But Tether, for some reason, when the market dumps, Tether goes up in value. So it looks like people typically flee to Tether as a stable coin more than any other stable coin. So it's important to look at it from its dominance chart. So if we're looking at USDT dominance, you can see the dominance has been increasing. So this is going to be bad for the whole entire crypto market. Okay. Now, what I do think is going to happen is we're going to probably come up to here, which will bleed out more. And then when we get here, we'll reject down. Every single time USDT dominance goes down, we see huge gains in crypto. So, we got some potential here is what I'm saying. And yeah, I just genuinely think that the support here at the top is way weaker than the support at the bottom. So, I think it's likely that we'll probably reject here, come back down. And that'll give some room for Bitcoin and all of the altcoins. And we should see a rally. But that's just one perspective, right? That's just one perspective. That's just specifically crypto. Remember, what's happening now is a big macro move. So we have to look at different things right now. If we look at Bitcoin, it does, I'm going to be honest, it just doesn't look that good. I would say that, we do have maybe a 15% drop, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is not from me. This is from Will, my coach. But if we're looking at a 200-day moving average, you could just see that we had something very similar over here. So it's not like out of the question. This is 2017. So from that hype cycle, we had the rejection of the 200-day moving average, and then we came down, rejected it again, came down, rejected it again, rejected it again. And then, yeah, we had this kind of like big dump. And this wasn't even like a black swan event. Actually, this was the halving event. So, or no, I'm sorry, not the halving event. This was actually the fork, right? So there was a fork around here. I think it was the Bitcoin Cash fork. Don't quote me on that. I have another chart that tells me exactly what it is. Actually, it was the Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV fork. Yes, I was correct. And I guess people were just a little bit scared of what's going to happen to Bitcoin. And then it came down pretty aggressive. So we did, even after all of this kind of like rejecting off the 200-day moving average, we did come down even another 51%. So I'm not, I'll give you, again, I'm going to give you a couple of scenarios. So I think the most bullish scenario probably, number one, the most bullish optimistic scenario is we get a bounce here. Okay. So we get a bounce here, we move our way up. Now, I think it's probably unlikely that happens, to be honest, even though since the beginning of the year, we've been pretty good, right? Since the beginning of 2022, we've been moving up. It's cool. But this is weak compared to like all of this, right? Like this is like a downtrend, right? So if we look at from over here, that's a downtrend. If we look from here, it's an uptrend. So it just looks like the downtrend's a little bit stronger. And we will likely either second bullish scenario is we come down to maybe around this liquidity level, which will be like around here. We can come and we'll get maybe a 30K BTC, and then it'll be another fight. I think this is probably the most likely. And then if we get to 30K BTC, we'll see like a 15 to 20% drop, depending on where you draw it. And this is, I think, the most likely scenario. And I also think it could probably like a long time. Like we could play around this level for a long time. And the reason I say that is because of this right here. All right. So what we're looking at is the Bitcoin halving. Okay. So like this is the halving that recently happened in 2020. And then this is the projected date for the next halving. This can change very briefly. It's not going to be by a lot though. It'll be by like days and weeks. So it could be a little bit further or a little bit back, depending on the block size or the block speed. all I did, it's just so simple. Like when you keep it simple, it gives you like a really good representation. My goal here is not to predict everything with 100% accuracy, but what I could do is brace, again, this video is to brace people. It's as simple as that. So if we look at, last cycle, before the halving happened, there was already hype. It was like already happening. Like people were already buying up Bitcoin here. If this didn't happen, if this right here didn't happen, I'm sure we would have probably continued up. There wouldn't have been this sell off right here. But obviously, this dumped every market in the world. So, the point I'm trying to make is 518 days before this halving event, people were already hyped about Bitcoin, right? Now, if we come over here, something very similar, 546 days before the halving in 2016, people were hyped about Bitcoin. So what we see is that about 500 to 600 days before the halving cycle, okay, people start buying Bitcoin. The bottom starts becoming in, right? So, I mean, again, like, don't be scared, guys. Like, let's just meet in the middle, 550 days, right? We're right there. So, although, potentially downside can happen for Bitcoin, it doesn't matter. Like, we're already there. Like, hype is about to set in. The bottom's going to be in. I don't know about you guys, but I got rich in the bear run, not the bull run. I mean, bull run, I guess I realized the richness, but the moves I made, the biggest gains I made, the 100Xs, me buying Hex, me buying, all of these coins, Matic. I bought Matic before it was named Polygon. These things, like, all happened in the bear run. So, if you're working a job full-time, part-time, this is good. This is actually like really good. It's actually really good for day traders too. Like I'm watching scalp traders in my group and they're eating right now. So it's like, no matter which way you cut it, like it's great to feel good in the bull run when all of your profits are at all-time high and the number in your account looks amazing. That makes you feel good. But really, like if you want that end result of making a lot of money, it's going to happen in the bear run. It's the same thing for everything. It's the same thing for my business. It's the same thing for crypto businesses. Like if you're a business owner, like you want to consolidate your team and become more efficient and become, hardened by this bear run. Like it's just the way life works. It's like you get all this hype, right? And you grow this tree and then eventually the forest has to burn down. And if the forest burns down, then all these nutrients are spread and allows for a bigger forest to grow. It's like you should always adopt the mindset of flipping the script. You have to flip the script. You can't like follow everybody else. Like it's, last night I went to the bar to watch the basketball game and I'm looking at these people and it's like, everybody's the same. Everybody's robots. Like they're all thinking the same thing. They're all like acting the same way. They listen to the same music. They have the same goals. They have the same morals. They want to get like they're like robots. It's like everybody's a robot. Now I know I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but like there has to be a time where you just think different from everybody else. So if everybody else is panicking and freaking out right now, like don't follow them. Think what are the whales doing? Like I keep showing you guys on-chain metrics. Like I keep showing you what smart money is doing. They're all accumulating. There's no reason to be scared. You should be happy and grateful that you have this 1 in 5 year chance. Like that, like in the top of the bull run, like you can feel good, but feeling good doesn't really get you results, guys. I don't know what you want to tell you, but the pain is what makes you grow. Like if you feel good in the gym every day, if it's like a happy time and you never stress in the gym, you're never going to get any results. It's the same thing for crypto. If you can't handle the pressure, you're never going to get results. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you, but this is where warriors are built. So take a deep breath, calm down. It's not that serious and just recognize it for what it is. And we'll come back to this chart right here. And I know it's a little tangent, but like, I want to prep you so you can understand what's going on. Yes, maybe we get this 15% drop or whatever, back down to, okay, so I talked about two scenarios. I talked about we come down to 30K, we eat that liquidity level, and then we move our way up. There also could be a very bad case scenario. We come back down to over here, what is this, 20K? So if we come back down to 20K, that's a 50% drop, okay? So that's like ultra worst case scenario. So brace yourself. It's just 50% more. If you can bear that, and at the bottom of that 50%, start buying more and start investing a lot of money at the bottom, Like, I'm telling you right now, I'm bracing you so I can, when it comes to that time, be screaming at the top of my lungs. I see the views. I see everything. Everybody's exiting crypto, right? You see me turning up. This is the time. This is what I was built for. This is what I want. I'm trying to share it with you guys. Like, let's make some money. Like, take a deep breath, realize it for what it is. If you would have bought, right here, if you would have bought right here, a Northern Emotions, fam, you realize I bought here. I was selling things on eBay, selling my laptop, working overtime right here. Everybody thought I was actually crazy. They thought I was actually crazy at this. I even had one dude that works at a hedge fund literally tell me that he saw me on Instagram and actually thought I lost it. That's like powerful. I want you guys to think about that. That's how scary it's going to become. And I want to brace you. So I bought here, right? Not only did I buy here Bitcoin, I bought altcoins, right? So I'm giving you all the answers. Can you take it is the question. Can you take the truth? Can you take the truth? Can you wait? And this is where I'm going to kind of hit it home for you guys. Can you wait 119 days without losing your panties? That's the question. If you could wait 119 days, let us bottom out if it happens. I'm bullish still, but if it happens, wait your 119 and wait your 120 days. Take a deep breath, go work harder. Don't look at your crypto portfolio like if it hurts, but you should still research. You should still be looking into coins. Double time at your job, get a side hustle, go sell some things on eBay, do what you got to do, okay? Look for the gems and then come in with the heat right here. Boom. Imagine we drop 15. I want it to drop. Please drop. If it does come down, I will be excited to buy the dip. Guys, I've been waiting for this moment. I did not have nearly as much money as I have now to buy the dip. Last cycle, I had limited amounts of money to buy the dip, and I was like doing everything I can to buy it. Now, I can get $20 million this next cycle. I can get $50 million this next cycle. Became a multi-millionaire last cycle. I'm about to make $100 million this. I don't care. Like, that's how I'm feeling right now. Like, the pressure makes diamonds, guys. Like, pressure makes diamonds. You thought it was gonna be easy. I think that's the funny part. It's just, the Moon Boys and all of these people made it seem like it was gonna be easy. No, you should be happy. It's hard, guys, because if it's easy, it's a Ponzi scheme. Look at the NFTs. Look at all these people pretending like it's easy. They're all losing. And what I'm trying to tell you right here in this video is that it will be hard, and you will persevere through, and I will scream in your face the whole entire time. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. This is worst case scenario. We got a couple situations. We potentially come down to 30K liquidity, which will be like a 15 to 19% drop, or we can probably come all the way back down to 20K. I mean, that's like, it is a possibility, which will be like similar to here, 50% drop. But I don't know about you guys. I will sell everything in my possession to buy the dip if it comes down another 50%. And then I'm just going to wait a couple of months and the market will likely come back. And then I'm going to make $20 million, $50 million. All right, that's basically the gist of this video. I want to lay out the worst case scenario. I want to prepare people. I want to give everybody my opinions. Look, like, I'm always going to be bullish on crypto. Maybe it's biased, but there's companies still moving in. Like, nothing has changed at all. Our bull case has never changed, right? It's never changed. The whole world's adopting crypto. The only thing that's changed is price. So price, it will flip when people get when the hype comes back. Don't be dumb money. Don't be dumb money and leave this market like everybody else. Please. Double down on what you know. Stick it out. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and you will be rewarded for your consistency in this market. That's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys in the next video. I love you. If you like the quality of this content, hit like. If you don't, leave some constructive criticism. Subscribe for more video updates. And like I always say, if you don't get with it, you will get left behind. Catch you guys in the next video.